This video is parted into sections which can be found in the description, so you can hop to the part that interests you the most. This is not the first video made on this topic, but I thought nobody explained it in full detail, including all the tips. I many times see CSGO players that have a bad knowledge about map callouts. Surprisingly, these players are not necessarily newcomers to the game, even some people with multiple hundred hours. Of course, if you don't have a microphone, you will most likely not communicate, so knowing callouts in that case might be of no concern. But don't forget, one of the most important rules of being a good player is to have a microphone and to communicate well and exact. That is why learning callouts is an absolute necessity when talking about Counter-Strike skills. Just in short, I want to also explain when you need to make calls. This is important in 3 situations. Most importantly is when you see multiple enemies and you are sure they are attacking the site. Secondly, when you see the bomb carrier. And lastly, if you see some abnormality. Experienced players can predict what will happen based on grenades or steps. All other information, like how much damage you did and what weapon enemies have, is less valuable. Also important, of course, but not as much. If it's not a must, I recommend you to write it in chat, as that distracts your teammates less and is straight up a smarter thing to do. For more tips on communication, you can watch my other linked video. So let's get to the point. What is the fastest way to learn map callouts? First off, I very much advise you to start systematically. Big mistake players often do is to play mixed maps and try to learn callouts on the go. Even though this method can work in a certain amount of time, it's by far not most effective. First off, often in lower rank, it happens that other players will teach you a callout that is not even correct or is not used. Not all official Valve callouts are also used by players. The most effective method is to play a single map consecutively as many times as necessary to learn all callouts. Repetition is most times the best way to learn, and you should repeat the process until you think you know all positions on the map, even in the heat of the moment. Some players tend to call wrong positions when it's time to clutch, or the game becomes intense. For players who don't know the maps good or don't know all the callouts yet, I have a recommendation. My tip is to download and use a map with callouts. Sadly, these are only made for the most popular maps, but it still helps a lot. There are a few maps available to use, and I will link them in the description with the install instructions. My personal favorite is Simple Radar, which also improves the minimap visibility and makes the game look better. Just make sure you download the version with callouts. In the description, I will also link a great callouts guide that has most of the callouts of the main maps if you are interested to learn without playing the game. After you die in game, you can press the control button on your keyboard and open up the big map. Then you can find out where you died if you don't already know and make the call. Always make short and simple communication. For example, you can say 3 aggro ramp, which of course stands for 3 players going aggressively on ramp. Very shortened, but more than enough for your mates. When you will be very good at callouts, you will also be able to shorten the callout names even more, while still being clear and understandable. That's all for this video, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you all next time.